Hi everyone, good evening. It's Melanie Moore here. Hope you're well. I see lots of people are just joining. So for those of you who are on, can you let me know if you can hear me okay? If you could just put a Y in the chat, that would be great. Let me know if you can hear me. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to put your cameras on, it'd be lovely to see your faces. But you don't have to if you don't want to. So lovely to see your faces if you would like to, if you'd like to join. So, hello to those of you who are putting your screens on. Don't be shy. I don't feel like I'm completely alone then. I feel like I'm amongst friends when I can see your faces. Lovely to see some familiar faces and lovely to see lots of new names as well. So I'd love to know where in the world you are tuning in from. So again, if you'd like to just pop in the comments, where in the world are you? I'm going to put the spotlight on for myself because I think some people in the past have found it hard to locate me. So there we go. Can you just let me know again, give me a Y if that's now been spotlighted for you, so you can see me. But then I'm going to put it back on gallery view so I can see all of you. Right, there we go. Let me know if I'm spotlighted for you. Right now, I need to multitask and look at the comments as well. So lots of Ys. So we've got Kerry in Ireland, Birmingham, UK, in Delhi, New York. Is that okay? Delhi, New York, Vancouver, Canada, Amman, Jordan, Romania, Buckinghamshire, UK, Netherlands, South Derbyshire, Northampton. Welcome. What an international crowd we've got here. It's lovely to have you all here. So just going to wait a minute or two just for people to join in. But before I get started, because I've got some slides prepared for you tonight, I've been very organized, which is not my normal style, but I know in the past people have, when I've asked for feedback, people have said, they quite like the slides because it kind of gives them something to follow along to. Then people like to take screen grabs as well, screenshots of, perhaps things that I've said that you would find interesting. So firstly, I'd love you all to grab a pen and paper because I do have a tendency to speak quite fast. So I will try to not get too overexcited and I shall slow down a bit. But sometimes people say, oh, can you repeat that? So if you just get a notepad and pen, and that way, if I say something that you find interesting, then you can just quickly jot it down. Sometimes I might refer to a book or a particular tapping video, and that way you can just quickly jot it down. So grab yourselves a notebook. So who else have we got? We've got Bahrain, Dublin, East Sussex, Toronto, London. Welcome. It's lovely to have you all here. And every time I do these Zoom calls, it just gives me such a little bubble of excitement when I see that it's such a truly international community that come together. Now, just a little bit of woo-woo background for you because I'm all about the woo. Hopefully if you're here and you know me and you follow me, that's not completely new territory for you. But at the beginning of May, Pluto went retrograde. Now, I don't know if many of you know about this. A lot of you may have heard about Mercury retrograde, which happens 3 times a year. A lot of people hear about Mercury retrograde. But Pluto retrograde, it's quite a difficult thing to say. It doesn't happen as often, but when it does happen, it's all about big transformations, about big changes. It's kind of almost the death of the old identity and it's a rebirthing into a new one. And from me speaking to a lot of my clients, just a lot of friends, a lot of people I know at the moment, a lot of people are really feeling this. And I'd love to know, are you feeling this right now? If you can identify with this, give me a why. Are you feeling that there's a shift, there's a change in the air, that you are ready for big changes? You're probably been stuck for some time and you're just ready for things to be completely different. So yep, got a few whys here, absolutely, very much so. Yes. And then what do we have at the weekend? We had the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights, which nearly everyone, can I just say, apart from me, I did not see it. um, I saw one of my clients actually messaged actually Mahesha, who's on the call here today. I'm just looking at the lights, and I poked my head. I was at my partner's house. I poked my head out the window. I couldn't see anything. I thought, oh well, it must just be a localized thing. Little did I know, following morning, looks like the whole world saw it apart from me. But I've definitely been feeling the effects. Now, I know people who kind of went and basked under it. They kind of almost felt that they were charged up to some sort of electrical portal. And it was such a gorgeous weekend here. So I was out in the sun and I could really feel the power of the sun this weekend. And because they've all these solar flares, the solar activity, I feel that I'm kind of tingling with electricity, that I'm feeling that these changes are really quite evident for a lot of us right now. So if you were lucky enough to be there and bask under it, you know, and if you weren't, if you managed to be outdoors, you will have experienced the solar activity. So there's a lot happening right now. And this Pluto retrograde, by the way, I forgot to add that this is going to go on till October. So it's a 6 month window, a 5 6 month window, an amazing window for really big changes to happen in your life. So I just wanted to start with that. This wasn't part of my presentation. This literally just downloaded into my head about 5 minutes ago. And I thought, well, I must mention what a potent time this is for change. So, yeah, welcome, welcome. It's lovely to have lots of you here. Thrilled that those of you who are here can join me live, and this will be, I will be sending this replay out. So before I continue, because this will be shared out on my YouTube channel, if anybody does share anything, so particularly not the comments, but the actual screen recording, don't worry, the comments won't be going on YouTube. And I'll be posting the replay out to my audience. So to be honest, it's only really people who really registered this who'll be wanting to watch the replay. If you do share anything, please be aware that it is in the public domain. So don't share anything unless you are happy for it to be, you know, in the public domain. And that also applies to anyone who volunteers to do hot seat tapping with me. I would love somebody to volunteer with me later, but do bear in mind that if you do volunteer, then it will be public. So don't volunteer or share anything that, you know, is personal or sensitive information. So just wanted to make that clear at the outset. Now, let me get on to my presentation, and but don't worry, also what is shared is your faces won't be shared. It will just be my face that will be shared on YouTube. So those of you with your screens on, at the moment, this is just the face speaking only, so that's the bit that will be shared. So let me just share my screen now and get my slides up for you. I think this is the screen I want to share. There we go here. Can you just let me know, give me a Y if you can see my screen. And then let me just move this so that I can see all your... There we go. Can you all see my screen okay? Yeah, let me just see if I get the chat bar up at the same time as well. Or let me look at some of the comments here. Some say, definitely ready. I'm ready for quantum leap forward. Yes, amen to that. Oh, good. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who didn't see the Northern Lights. Oh, I don't feel so alone. Oh, good. Looks like I was not the only one. Got another comment here. Definitely a change. I'm restarting my business with a new business model. Today I got the email that I was accepted to teach on a training platform. Congratulations. That's amazing. Oh, right. Okay. Lots of great. You can see my screen. Wonderful. Okay. I will continue. So, topic of today's webinar is manifesting the next chapter of your life. Now, Your next chapter, it starts tomorrow. It starts as soon as this call ends. So you don't need to wait for a particular life event to happen. You don't need to wait till the next new moon. You don't need to wait for anything. It begins now. So hopefully you're going to get insights. You're going to get inspired to make some changes. So our lives are constantly evolving. So I just kind of want to set this intention for you now that this next chapter starts tomorrow. Why wait a second longer? So what you will learn today, I hope, is what keeps most people feeling stuck, and why most people, sadly, will stay this way for the rest of their lives. But none of you, nobody on this call, not going to happen. How you can do things differently to gain more peace, clarity, joy, freedom, and purpose. Techniques to help you make powerful shifts today. And if you wait to the end, I've got a special gift for you and a special offer as well. So, does this sound like you? Are you feeling stuck? Are you looking for greater fulfillment in relationships? Are you not doing what you want to do each day? Do you feel like you're at a crossroads in your life and don't know which direction to choose? If any of these resonate, just give me a why. Now, you're in great company because each of these I've felt this way at some point, sometime or another in my life. So do you feel like there must be more to life? Perhaps looking for more clarity and purpose? And do you want more freedom and abundance? So yes to all. Absolutely. So here's the thing. Sorry, I just need to move the meetings. I can't read my own slides. If you do not change your frequency, then you will stay stuck in the exact same reality because your frequency controls everything. Now, I will tell you what this means in a minute if you're scratching your heads wondering what on earth is frequency. Now, in this webinar, you'll finally learn how to solve this problem and get out of feeling stuck and not knowing what direction to take at this particular crossroads in your life. Now, by crossroads, I shared it in some of the emails I sent before this call. These are crossroads I found myself at when I became a mum, particularly kind of when I had both my children, and I was like wondering, you know, what shall I do now? I was still working in my corporate career, but I wanted to start my own business. I was really at a crossroads then. When my children started school and I had more time on my hands, again, another crossroads. What am I going to do with, you know, this time on my hands? How can I balance motherhood and, you know, wanting self-fulfillment? This crossroads came again for me when my marriage ended and, you know, I was faced with life, you know, being life as a single parent. Again, huge crossroads. I didn't know whether to go back to my corporate career or I didn't know whether to go all in on my business. And then again, crossroads, I'm kind of entering now this period of my life when my son, my eldest, he has just started, he's in his first year at university. And now I'm looking at universities with my daughter. She'll be starting next year. So I'm going to be having a lot more time on my hands. Suddenly I'm shifting out of the identity of mom, where's this, where's that? You know, school runs and all that, you know, that a huge chapter of my life. Whilst I know me being their mum, that's a job for life and that's never going to end. It's another identity shift for me. I'm the empty nester. Now what? So these are what I mean by the crossroads. So if you are at any crossroads in your life right now, please do just, you know, pop in the comments, you know, tell me, you know, or share, you know, what your crossroads are at the moment. It'd be lovely to hear, you know, where you are right now. Now, you're also going to learn the secret to feeling amazing and raising your frequency all the time, no matter what is going on in your life. Now, I can't promise you to solve all the problems in your life. I'd be a billionaire if I could do that, because the truth is, we're always going to have problems in our lives. Things are going to happen. But when we manage our frequency, this is how we are going to bounce back so much quicker. Our mindset is going to be so much stronger, and we're going to be able to cope with whatever life throws at us. So That's what I mean by feeling amazing and feeling good and making sure your frequency and your vibration is high, regardless of whatever's going on. Now, everything is energy and resonance. So the higher your frequency, the higher frequency people and opportunities and you are going to attract in your life. So, we've all felt that way when things are going well, your vibe's high, you're in flow and synchronicities happen and things just flow. We've all felt that way before. But when we learn how to manage our energy and our frequency, we're going to be feeling that way a lot more often. So it might not come as a surprise for me to tell you that one of the quickest ways to raise your frequency is by tapping. Now, I know you've most likely been tapping along to my YouTube videos, but today I'm going to share how you can make lasting changes with more than just the YouTube videos. Now, I'd love to know who discovered me through my YouTube channel. This is actually just me being nosy now. I've gone slightly off piece with the questions here. Just give me why if you found me through my YouTube channel. So lots of you, amazing. That's fantastic. So thank you for continuing the journey with me, and thank you for exploring beyond my YouTube channel. I am more than just my YouTube channel. Now, in a moment, we'll be doing some group tapping, and we're going to be doing some hot seat tapping as well, using something called borrowed benefits. Now, borrowed benefits is something I do on all my group Zoom calls where we do some hot seat tapping, where even though I'm only going to be tapping with one person, you're all going to have your own stuff that's going on in your life right now. So a lot of you aren't even going to want to volunteer. You won't want to be on the hot seat with me. But with borrowed benefits, we are going to borrow the benefits of the person who is in the hot seat. And we're going to be getting clarity. You're going to be getting more downloads of your own next steps and what actions to be taking in your own life. So my intention is that you are all going to feel better and more clarity about the next chapter of your life. Maybe you're going to get some downloads around what your next step is. Maybe an idea or some inspiration just pops up today for you, or maybe you'll get confirmation, or maybe you've been thinking about doing something or not doing something, and you're just going to get that clarity today. That's my intention around this whole session this evening. So whether it's the group tapping or whether it's the borrowed benefits from the hot seat tapping, you will borrow the benefits. Okay, so just a quick introduction. This is me, Melanie Moore. Now, you probably know me, of course, through my YouTube channel for EFT and tapping videos. Also, the vision board works that I do. I've been featured in the press, in the Daily Mail, Psychologist, Grazia magazine for my work with vision boards. I'm the mum. Actually, I think I've got some more interesting pictures here. So yeah, it's a bit more about me. So I'm a mum to two teenagers. These two gorgeous children, not really children anymore, young adults are my children. Ben, who's in his first year at university, and my daughter Bonnie, who she'll be going to uni next year, hopefully. She's still deciding at the moment. I've also got my parents here. Now, I'd say these are my dependents. These are people who kind of depend on me. This is kind of like my world, really, in a nutshell. Now, my dad's got dementia, and sadly, and my mum, she's 86 now, she's 87, and she's got mobility issues. We recently went on holiday to Crete together. So these first three pictures are of our family holiday in Crete. So it was lovely to still be able to take my parents away. And yeah, we had an amazing time together as a family. My mum, bless her, she's not actually wheelchair bound, but just so the grandchildren didn't have to walk at her pace, she requested a wheelchair. So, and also my other little dependent here is my fur baby, Bitsy. And yeah, and we've got a comment here, I'm a caregiver to my parents as well. It's a really interesting time in my life. I'm, and I don't know if anyone else is here, is in that sandwich generation where you still got children, got dependents who who still very much need you, but you also got your parents as well. Suddenly you're parenting them, you're looking out for them. So if anyone else is in the sandwich generation, and just drop a Y, let me know. I know a lot of my clients are in this situation. When we talk about manifesting things, sometimes, you know, manifesting a care home or manifesting a house move for your parents is kind of like, is almost as good as a lottery win when we've got parents to care for as well. So if you're there, yeah, I've got here looking after my mum who has dementia too, cared for my mum who had Parkinson's for 20 years. Yeah, you get it. It's and if you're not there yet, or if you've been through it, you know, I know exactly what's happening, and this is it is a challenging time, I'll be honest with you. Also, although I'm a single parent, I am in a relationship, and I've been with my partner Yanni for, gosh, almost 4 years now. We met during lockdown, and we've got quite an unusual relationship. We only see each other at the weekends, which, to be honest, where we are in our lives right now, it suits us perfectly. So relationships, as you can see for me, not just with, you know, my other half, with my children, with my parents, they are it's the most important thing to me in my life. The relationships I have with my community, with my friends, that for me makes me feel wildly abundant when I think about the relationships I have in my life. So we'll be talking a bit more about the 4 pillars in a little while. So that's just a little bit about me. Yeah, a bit more about me. I'm mum of 2 teens, fur baby Bitsy. My very, very first ever job was as a model. I was in pop videos for Take That, Boyzone. I did modeling from the ages of about 15 till about 21. I was also a journalist. I worked at the BBC on a show called Watchdog. Those of you in the UK are probably familiar with this show. I then spent 10 years in the corporate world doing IT recruitment and headhunting. And then that kind of coincided with the time, you know, I got married and then I had children. And in 2009, when my children were very young, I trained as a holistic therapist. I was always interested in holistic therapies. I started off with Reiki and reflexology, and then became an EFT practitioner. And for the next 6 years, till about 2015, I was working one-to-one with clients from my home and from a local clinic as well. And other things I incorporate in my work are chakra work, energy healing, oracle cards, crystal therapy, batch flower remedy training. So these are all the things that are all a part of my woo-woo toolkit. So it's not just tapping, it's all of those things I've just mentioned as well. Now, in 2012, I started doing vision board workshops at home, because although I had my own home therapy practice, I was really interested in personal development, law of attraction, personal development. And I started to do these vision board workshops at home. And then I started doing them for larger groups and eventually, you know, big corporate companies as well. In 2015, I transitioned into having an online business. I'm the founder of online programs, including Tapping into Abundance, Entrepreneur's Emotional Toolkit, and very most recently, I just created the Manifest Lasting Love program. I'm a manifestation and law of attraction coach, and the thing that I'm the most proud of, and the part of the business I love the most, is the Tapping into Your Big Vision members community, which I started in 2019, literally just before the pandemic. And this community focuses on the 4 pillars of health, abundance, relationships, and environments, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. And, you know, these are some other things that I've done in my work. So the first 2 pictures, one of the biggest vision board workshops, well, it is the biggest vision board workshop I've ever done. There's a room full of nearly 100 people. Did that for a big publishing house for their sales force. So that was an amazing experience, creating vision boards for all those people. I've spoken internationally on stages across the world. That was a picture of me. I was speaking at an event in LA. You can't see there, but I was tapping to a room full of 250 people. Again, probably my largest live tapping audience. In the Daily Mail, they featured my vision board workshop. And recently I've started doing these again, the corporate vision board workshops, which again, after the pandemic and spending so much time behind a computer and a laptop, I love just getting out there and working with people face to face. Now, something else I did last year, and this is probably the testimonial I'm proudest of, I did a 3-week tapping workshop for Mount Sinai Hospital in New York for their cancer patients. So they came to me, they found me online, and they wanted to bring some holistic therapies to their female patients with gynecological cancers. So over 3 weeks, I delivered a workshop, and this was the feedback I received, which, you know, it was just, it's always nice to get nice feedback, but when you've worked with one of the largest hospitals in the world, and, you know, this is completely opposite from the woo. This is a company who, you know, it's orthodox medical, it's traditional medicine, you know, this is working with people with cancer, and for them to actually embrace tapping and for them to give me this feedback was just incredible. So thank you so much, Melanie, over the past 3 weeks. These sessions have been so fantastic. I feel the community you've created within Woman to Woman is powerful and special. People reacted so positively to both you and tapping, and I'm honored that we were able to bring this important resource into their lives. Let's keep in touch. Perhaps you could do another series on something else. You're a wonderful healer and a special person. That was Rachel at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. So as much as I love the woo and the astrology and the angel cards, I love to bring practical healing, help and advice to people, you know, whatever they're going through. And this was just, you know, such wonderful feedback to receive. So today we are going to discover some techniques that will help you to clear your fear and doubts, which are holding you back, and to tap into your inner strength and wisdom, and to step forward with confidence and a renewed sense of purpose. So that's my kind of intention for today's workshop, today's session, the time that we have together. So first things first, let's tap into this present moment together. Now, I want you to think about all the things you've got going on in your life right now, whether it's the responsibilities, the overwhelm, feeling stuck, maybe there's family dramas, maybe you're just feeling a bit kind of unsure of the next step. I just want you just for a moment, just to take you back to the present moment. I've given a note to myself here to stop screen share. I'll come back to these in a minute. Okay. So, yeah, because I'm going to do some group tapping in a minute, and much nicer to kind of do this face to face so you can see my face rather than the screen. So, yeah, I just want to just check in with you all, and you can share if you like, or this might be something you're just holding on to, you know, whatever's going on right now. Just tune in to whatever is going on in your life right now, and maybe just think about kind of maybe there's a big problem, or maybe there is a feeling, maybe there's a situation that's happening in your life right now. Maybe there's just and maybe this thing is leading to some sort of feeling. So it could be doubt, it could be fear, it could be worry, it could be anxiety, it could be uncertainty, it could be hopelessness, it could be despair. You know, whatever it is you're going through right now, this is the tapestry of life that we all lead. You know, we have our ups, we have our downs, we have our high points, and we have our low points. Whatever's going on for you right now, just acknowledge it and notice where that feeling is sitting in your body. So it could be in your throat. Often, sometimes you feel it in your shoulders. Sometimes, you know, it can feel like the whole weight of the world is on your shoulders. It could be in your heart, your chest. Could be, you know, in your solar plexus. Just acknowledge where it is. And if you'd like to share, you don't have to share the thing that's happening, but if you wouldn't mind, or if you'd be happy to, just like to know the feeling and the figure out of 10. So 10 is really strong. So it could be, I'm feeling anger in my solar plexus and it's a 9 out of 10. Or it could be, I'm feeling worry, it's in my chest and it's an 8 out of 10. So, you know, and the only reason, if you don't want to put it in the comments, just write it down on a piece of paper, because what I'd like then, once we've done the tapping, is for you to refer back to what you've just written and see how the feeling has shifted. So So we've got here worry and stress, 7, hopeless, 7, frustration, 9, 10, heart and solar plexus, worry, 8 to 10, lost, stuck in chest, 7. Okay, yeah, just yeah, keep anxious, 7, stomach, solar plexus, anxiety, 10. Okay. Frustrated, 8 in the chest. Okay. Lost and stuck, 8. Broken-hearted, disappointment in my stomach and heart, 9. Worry, throat, 7. Okay, all right. So thank you for those of you who've shared. Now, and now we're just going to do some group tapping. So if you've tapped with me on a YouTube before, you know what to do. So a lot of, certainly my members know this, those of you who've worked with me before know that I never, ever script a round of tapping, ever. Even my YouTube videos, I literally download, I channel whatever needs to come through me in that present moment for the healing that I feel is needed in that particular time. So yeah, I don't script anything. So sometimes I pause a bit, sometimes I, and ah. I had a very interesting comment on my YouTube channel this week telling me that I needed to practice more and stop saying ums and ahs. And that, so I apologize for my umming and ahhing. That's just because I do it in a moment and I'm not that professional. So, all right, so let's go. So lots of you've shared here, and now we're just going to tap. Even though there's a lot going on in my life right now, I have all these emotions, and I'm really feeling it right now. Despite all of that, I choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though there feels like there's a lot of stuff that's being stirred up in my life right now. Maybe there are old wounds that are coming up that need to be healed. Maybe there's past events that I keep reliving. Maybe there's just so much overwhelm right now, and I don't know what to do next. Despite all of this, I choose to deeply and completely love and honor myself. And even though right now there doesn't feel like there's a solution, I'm not quite sure what to do next. Or maybe there are other people involved whose actions I can't control. And that just adds to overwhelm. Despite all of that, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and forgive myself and anyone else who may be associated with the way I'm feeling right now. All this stuff that's going on in my life. Go through the tapping points now. All this overwhelm. All these feelings. All this stuff that's going on in my life right now. I'm acknowledging that it is what it is. That I'm human. And I've come into this lifetime to have this experience. Even this experience I'm going through right now. And I'm recognizing that there's stuff that's coming up to the surface that I am ready to heal, that I'm ready to move on from. And I'm ready for the next chapter of my life. And I'm ready for it to be different. And I choose to love and accept myself right now, regardless of everything that I'm going through. I choose to view all of this as a learning experience. And that it doesn't make me bad or wrong or unworthy or guilty. And if there's any sense of shame, anger, frustration, or overwhelm, or any other feeling that's anything other than peace, and that's not for my highest good, I'm going to let it go now. I'm ready to let go of the overwhelm. I'm ready to let go of the struggle. I'm ready to let go of the past. And I'm ready to release it. Because I've been holding on to it for long enough now. And it's time for me to let it go. Or at the very least, begin my healing journey. And I'm ready to release doubt. Ready to release uncertainty. I'm releasing heartbreak. Releasing hopelessness. Releasing fear. Releasing worry. Releasing anxiety. I'm letting it go now. It's safe for me to let this all go. I'm letting it be easy to let go. And I'm letting go of any old identities that aren't a match to my future self. I'm letting go of habits that don't serve me. Letting go of procrastination. Letting go of worrying what other people think. Letting go of fear of judgment and criticism. Letting go of all the old stories. I'm ready to release them now. Letting go of anything that is not my true self. A bold, vibrant, fearless person who is ready for their next chapter, who is ready to do things differently, and who is ready to take action. And I'm acknowledging that the next few months is a powerful time. And that my time for a quantum leap is here. To do the things I've always wanted to do. To be courageous. To get out of my comfort zone. And to do things differently. I am ready to do things differently. And I'm ready for the next chapter. In body, mind, and spirit. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. So lots of yawning there. Yawning is a great thing if you didn't know already. Yawning means that shifts are taking place. See some people are just a little bit emotional. Tears are a great thing. So if stuff's come up for you, just drink water, journal, just, you know, and you can come back and watch the replay. You can do this round of tapping again. So I'd love to know, those of you who shared kind of in the comments, the feeling in the body, I'd love you to just check in with yourself again now. What is the feeling? And what's that number? Has that level of intensity reduced? What's that number now? So yeah, sent tears down my face. Always yawn when I tap. So I feel calm, 2 from 10 to an 8, more peaceful, and a 3. Frustration down to 3. Brilliant. Throat feels way less tight as a 2. Feeling of release and uplift. Amazing. I feel better, lighter, and hopeful. Now 4. Feeling lighter. Amazing. I think that's helpless heart down to a 4. Level intensity feel reduced, but awkward, like I stepped out of my comfort zone, but still feels good. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, lovely. Thank you. So I'm just going to go back to everything reduced. Wonderful. So I'm going to go back to the presentation. Oh, here we are. Great. I'll go back there. Oh. Okay. Okay, so right, we've done the tapping. Thank you for the comments. So now what came up for you after this tapping? Let me just get the chat back up here. Where's the chat bar gone? Yeah, thank you. And I think most of you felt a reduction, which is great. Feeling more hopeful, calm, everything reduced. So I'd love to know, you know, so what came up for you for this round of tapping? And this is where I'm going to request a hot seat. Who wants to tap with me in a minute? Now, before you start saying me, I want to kind of talk to you about the 4 pillars. Now, generally, when there's stuff going on in our lives, it's going to be kind of down to kind of one of the 4 pillars. So it could be money worries, abundance. It could be down to relationships. It could be relationship struggles right now. You know, maybe relationships are broken down, or maybe you want to manifest new relationships. Maybe it's new friendships. Maybe it's a new partner, a new soulmate. Maybe there's health challenges. Or you want to manifest more vitality, energy, better sleep. Or it could be around your environment that, you know, I want to travel more. I want to see more of the world. I want to renovate or want to move house, or I want a new car. You know, these are all things related to environment. So what I would love now, and remember, if you want to volunteer to be in hot seat with me, remember this is being recorded, so please only share if you are happy to, you know, you know, for your story to be shared. Please don't share anything that's personal or sensitive that you are not. So by you volunteering, you are volunteering. And those who volunteer, I'd love to know, what pillar do you want to tap with me on? And I'm just going to tune into somebody. So let's have a look. So keep them coming. And if you could just give me an extra bit of context, you know, I'd be, you know, yeah, if you want to share what the pillar is. So as long as it's one of those 4 pillars, that'd be great. Now, so I'm actually drawn to Laura, and you've got your hand raised as well. Hi, Laura. Laura's in Ireland.
Hi, Melanie.
Hello. Let me just stop sharing the screen so we can see your lovely face. Okay. Let me pin you as let me add you to the spotlight so you can see both of us together. Laura, introduce yourself. Now, I know we've connected in the past. So, you know, for those of you who don't know, you tell us a little bit about you. You're in Dublin in Ireland. I think you're originally from Finland, aren't you?
Finland, yes. I was born in Finland, grew up in Venezuela, then Boston, then Miami, and now Dublin. And I'm actually looking for my next my next place now. Yeah, so I'm an international transformational life and relationship coach. And I also have a corporate job, you know, which takes most of my time. So I'm at the stage now that I'd like to leave the corporate job behind and focus on my coaching and more spiritual, soulful work all around. And I really want to find a place and find like a spiritual community, like a spiritual family and community. You know, so that's what I'm working on, creating the abundance to be able to manifest that, and then move on to the next stage of my life. So
the next chapter.
the next
Exciting.
chapter, exactly, the next chapter.
So what a busy, varied and fascinating life that you've led. It's amazing, Laura.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that abundance was
Yes.
the thing. A lot of people have put abundance. So for those of you who didn't get selected this time on the hot seat, don't worry, because there's something magical that always happens on these hot seats. When we tap for one person, it's often very reflective for what a lot of people are feeling, and there are no coincidences why you're in the hot seat, Laura. I believe the universe has brought everybody on this call here together for a reason. We're all very interconnected. I'll be going super woo on you now if I start talking about how I believe, you know, we're all connected, but I won't go there now. But suffice to say, we are connected, and particularly for us all on this group today, we are very connected. So just be aware that those of you who have posted your comments, even though I'm going to be diving a little bit deeper with Laura here, this tapping is called borrowed benefits, and we're going to be borrowing the benefits from this experience with Laura, and we're going to be tapping for all of us. So tell me about the abundance.
Yeah.
What's the story?
The story with the abundance. So I've been a coach for 15 years, and in the past 2 years I've gotten incredible visibility. I've gotten 6 awards, 3 magazine covers, and I'm in 2 best-selling books, right? So you would think that I would have, you know, clients, you know, just like overflowing, but I don't. So there's a block, and one of the blocks is a corporate job, which takes up most of my time and my energy. But I feel that all this visibility that I've gotten is paving the way to the next stage. So now I want to get to that next stage. Like I feel like I'm so close. I'm so close, you know?
Yeah.
So close and so far away at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I'm ready. I don't think I would have gotten all that visibility if I wasn't ready for the next level, for the next stage.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I guess, you know, we've done things differently. So when I think about, you know, as I shared on my story earlier on, it was 2009 that I left the corporate job. Now, my why then was very different. Now, you know, I often talk about the big vision and, you know, the big goals and things we want to manifest. And I can honestly say to you, in 2009, my big vision was nothing more than taking my kids to school in the morning, being there for sports days, literally being a stay-at-home mum, and maybe having enough clients each week to pay for their dance lessons, their football. And finally,
Yeah.
I jokingly called my business a hobby business because I literally made enough money then to pay for their hobbies.
Right, right, yeah,
So I called it a hobby business. But then
yeah,
my why became a lot greater when my marriage ended. And suddenly I was a single parent. Suddenly I had these two mouths to feed, a mortgage to look after. And I literally had to do everything on my own. So for me, it was either go back to the corporate world or go all in. And I think when your why becomes great, really, really great. And I think this is when the pain point starts growing. And
yeah,
I think for you, the pain of being in the corporate world, that's
yes.
probably really, is it sucking your energy, would you say?
Yeah, it's painful. It's definitely painful. Every day I feel like I'm not supposed to be doing this. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm not supposed to be doing this. I should be out helping people. And the thing is that like I've always known that I have a big mission in this life.
Mm.
Like ever since I was little. Like I've known that I
Let
have
me
a big
pause you right
mission.
there. I think
Yeah.
that's a common theme amongst entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, healers. Who else on this call feels like they've got a big mission, that they were born to do something different, that maybe you've always felt different from other people? You felt like the black sheep, or you're not quite the same as other people in your friendship circles. You just feel a bit out of place. Lots of yeses.
I think everybody here, right? Like most
You're in
people.
good company. And the number of times, not so much now, because I think my children are quite proud of me, but sometimes you say, can't you be like the other mums?
Yeah, can you just be normal, right? Like normal? What is that?
And my daughter actually told me recently, she used to lie to her friends when they asked, when they said, what does your mum do? And she used to say, I worked in an office or something. She lied, because she was a bit embarrassed to say that my mum taps on her face for a living.
My mom taps.
Fortunately, my daughter, much more so than my son, but my daughter actually shares my tapping videos with her friends who are going through tough times. So that always makes me feel
Yeah.
amazing. So anyway, so look,
Yeah.
loads of yeses there.
Yeah.
We all feel like black sheep. We feel like
Yes.
we were born to do something different. And you all
Yeah.
here to be of service to the world, to bring your light, to bring your energy, and not only that, to bring your experiences to the world. So sometimes we go through dark times, we go through experiences, and in the moment you
Yeah.
can think, well, why am I going through this? But then whenever I've had those moments, I know it's so I can go and help others who are going through tough times, who are going through despair. And you, Laura, I feel that you're going to help people transition
Yeah.
that corporate to healing space. So,
Yeah.
so what are we tapping for? Um, would you say it's a confidence to leave your job? Because that's the thing, isn't it? On the one hand, you've got the security blanket of a job and a regular
Yeah.
paycheck, and it's
Yeah.
kind of stepping into the unknown of,
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, isn't it? Would you
Yeah,
say?
exactly. Because it's like I have all the visibility, like I have so much visibility, but I don't have the abundance to match all that visibility. Like it's really
Yeah.
funny because people tell me all the time, like, "My God, you're so famous. You have
Mm,
like all this visibility." I'm like, "Yeah, so famous, and but I don't have the clients like to match that visibility, right?
mm.
Or the abundance, from the coaching."
So
So yeah, I feel like I'm ready.
let's
Yeah,
dive into the fears here. What would you say are the fears or the subconscious blocks that are stopping you from um, leaving your job, or from going all in on your coaching
yeah.
business?
Well, one of the fears is one of the fears is the belief like will I be able to make a living from the
Mm,
coaching? Will I be able to make a living from this, right?
yeah.
Because even though I've been a coach for 15 years, but then I've had the corporate jobs, and there's been times that I've left the corporate jobs and then just focused on the coaching, and it grew, but it didn't grow enough. I had
Hmm.
I had to go back to the corporate world.
And is there
So
any way you could do the two side by side? Perhaps, reduce your hours and maybe do both, like on a part-time basis.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's, well, in the job that I have now, I can't, I can't really reduce the hours in that job, but I guess I can look for something different.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So I am going to kind of just, we're going to tap into allowing the situation to unfold for you over the coming days. And I want this to be kind of quite quick for you. And again,
yeah,
anybody else kind of feeling that they're looking for kind of like, there's uncertainty, isn't there? There's definitely kind of a cloud of uncertainty that's, I want to do this, but I'm scared that, you know, what if it doesn't work? What if I can't
yeah,
make this a proper income out of this? Now, one thing, and this is something for you to think, we don't have to answer it now, for everyone else, is to start thinking about income goals. So the first thing you'd want to do is to think about your basic needs. Now, sometimes it is taking a cut, and that's exactly what I did when I left my corporate job to working for myself. I took a cut.
yeah,
Now, however, I'm not going to go into the story today, but I think a lot of you have heard about my Who Wants to Be a Millionaire story. That
yeah,
was the big manifestation that happened for me, that enabled me to happen, because I had to trust like I haven't trusted before. I had to trust the universe. I had to trust in divine timing. I had to trust the next steps. Now, trust is quite a hard thing to just muster up on your own, but we can tap into it. So someone else said, yes, uncertainty resonates. So right now, all the while you're feeling uncertain, remember we talked about frequency. That is
yes,
the frequency that you're putting out. When we're
yeah,
feeling uncertain,
yeah,
we're just going to get situations that we feel more uncertain about. However, we can shift that with tapping. So let's
yeah,
just tap into it, Laura. Let's tap into feeling more certain. But also, I
yeah,
want you to, in particular, to come back to this round of tapping. For everyone else who's feeling uncertain right now, come back and do the replay of this. And I might have I'll have some other tapping videos I can suggest in a minute as well. So let's just tap along with Laura and tap for yourselves for whatever it is you're going through right now. So here we go. Even though
so
I'm feeling all this uncertainty right now
I'm feeling all this uncertainty right now
around my coaching practice
around my coaching practice
and my ability to make it wildly successful and abundant.
and my ability to make it wildly successful and abundant.
Even though I have this uncertainty,
Even though I have this uncertainty,
I choose to deeply and completely
I choose to deeply and completely
love and accept myself anyway.
love and accept myself anyway.
Even though
Even though
I'm torn between my corporate job
I'm torn between my corporate job
and taking a leap of faith into the coaching business.
and taking a leap of faith into the coaching business.
I choose to make peace
I choose to make peace
with the way I'm feeling right now.
with the way that I'm feeling right now.
And I choose to trust
And I choose to trust
that the way forward will be made clear.
that the way forward will be made clear.
That things will show themselves to me
That things will show themselves to me
that will help me come to a decision.
that will help me come to a decision.
And I choose to love and honor myself.
And I choose to love and honor myself.
And even though I feel torn between these two worlds right now,
And even though I feel torn between these two worlds right now,
and it's leaving me feeling so uncertain,
and it's leaving me feeling so uncertain
because I worry about the money
because I worry about the money
and how I can thrive,
and
and
how I can
how I
how I
can
can
thrive, how I can
thrive
thrive, and how I can make an abundant living.
and how I can make an abundant living.
I choose to deeply and completely
I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and forgive myself
love, honor, and forgive myself
for doubting myself.
for doubting myself.
And I'm allowing the path to become clear.
And I'm allowing the path to become clear.
Okay. All this uncertainty
All this uncertainty
about what path to take next.
About what path to take next.
All this uncertainty
All this uncertainty.
about staying stuck in my corporate job
About staying stuck in my corporate job.
or taking the leap of faith into my coaching business.
Or taking the leap of faith into my coaching business.
It's leaving me feeling so stuck.
Is leaving me feeling so stuck.
And this corporate job is just draining all my energy.
And this corporate job is just draining all my energy.
And I know my soul was meant for more.
And I know my soul was meant for more.
I know I was meant to be of service to others.
I know that I was meant to be of service to others.
And I choose to let go of the doubts,
And I choose to let go of the doubts.
to let go of the uncertainty,
To let go of the uncertainty.
to let go of this unknown,
To let go of this unknown.
of not knowing what to do next.
Of not knowing what to do next.
I'm letting it all go now.
I'm letting it all go now.
And I'm allowing myself to become clearer
And I'm allowing myself to become clearer
on what I need to do next,
on what I need to do next.
on what action steps I can take next,
And what action steps I can take next.
to be of full service to the world in my coaching business.
To be a full service to the world in my coaching business.
Because this is what my soul wants to do.
Because this is what my soul wants to do.
This is why I was put here on this planet.
This is why I was put here on this planet.
So I'm going to let go of the fears that are holding me back.
So I'm going to let go of the fears that are holding me back.
And I'm going to find a solution,
And I'm going to find a solution.
a way to make this work,
A way to make this work.
whilst remaining abundant,
Whilst remaining abundant.
whilst keeping the money coming in
Whilst keeping the money coming in.
abundantly.
Abundantly.
I'm ready for big changes.
I'm ready for big changes.
And I choose to have faith
And I choose to have faith.
that I can take the leap.
That I can take the leap.
Because when I leap,
Because when I leap,
the net will appear.
the net will appear.
And I choose to know
And I choose to know
that I'm divinely protected and guided at all times.
that I'm divinely protected and guided at all times.
And I wouldn't be given this longing for change,
And I wouldn't be given this longing for change.
this desire to have a coaching practice,
This desire to have a coaching practice.
if I couldn't be abundant doing so.
If I couldn't be abundant doing so.
But I've got to have faith
But I've got to have faith.
and trust.
And trust.
And this is a frequency that I can tap into.
And this is the frequency that I can tap into.
Faith and trust are just a frequency.
Faith and trust are just a frequency.
And I choose to remember that.
And I choose to remember that.
That faith and trust are a frequency.
Faith and trust are a frequency.
I have faith I can make this work.
I have faith I can make this work.
I trust that I will be successful.
I trust that I will be successful.
And I may have to remind myself
And I may have to remind myself
many times a day
many times a day
to keep this frequency
to keep this frequency
and this frequency of certainty,
and this frequency of certainty,
this frequency of faith,
this frequency of faith,
and this frequency of trust.
and this frequency of trust.
I've been preparing for this for a long time now,
I've been preparing for this for a long time now,
and I have the tools and resources at my disposal
and I have the tools and resources at my disposal
to make this happen.
to make this happen.
And I'm allowing the path to reveal itself over the next few days.
And I'm allowing the path to reveal itself in the next few days.
To allow the right people to come into my life.
To allow the right people to come into my life.
To allow the right opportunities and circumstances to come my way.
To allow the right opportunities and circumstances to come my way.
To be in the right place at the right time.
To be in the right place at the right time.
Because this is my time.
Because this is my time.
I'm ready for a quantum leap.
I'm ready for a quantum leap.
I'm ready for big, happy changes.
I'm ready for big, happy changes.
And I'm ready for the next chapter.
And I'm ready for the next chapter.
Allowing it all to become clearer and clearer.
Allowing it all to become clearer and clearer.
I am ready for the next step.
I am ready for the next step.
In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
Okay, take a nice deep breath in. And exhale. Okay, Laura, so how are you feeling now?
Wow, empowered. I feel like I can do this.
Has your frequency raised?
Yeah, definitely. I think that faith and trust frequency, I think is really good to remember. Like when I start getting scared, when that fear and that anxiety and that worry starts creeping up, I need to be like faith and trust,
And it could be,
yeah.
our work, again, this is something I talk about an awful lot. My clients know that I'm known as the language police. Every word we speak has a frequency, has a vibration.
Yeah.
And it's been really deliberate every moment of the day, with the thoughts that we think. And we can shift it in an instant with 10 minutes of tapping. I've done Reiki, I've done reflexology, I love angel cards, crystals, and I love it all. Any new modality, new book, all the stuff, I love it and fascinated all, but tapping is a thing that I come back to because it is so quick. It's like 10 minutes. You don't have to pop any pills. You can literally stick on a video and you've shifted things in an instant. So thank you so much for sharing. Keep me posted. Let me know how things shift for you. When I send this replay out, you've got this, as your own personal tapping now. Come back and do this.
Yeah, I'll do it. Like I'll watch it and do it over and over again.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. And people said, yeah, holy yawning, holy yawning. So thank you so much, Laura. And I'd love to know if people who tapped along here, how are you feeling? I feel the trust that you're talking about. Yeah, somebody said the uncertainty resonates. So yeah, I'd love to know how the tapping with Laura has helped you all. So, please keep the comments coming. So let me get back to the rest of the presentation. I've lost the screen. There we go. Feel lighter. Great, that's amazing. So to the presentation. So where is it gone? Okay, sorry, here we go, back to here. So yeah, as I said, there are 4 pillars of abundance, relationships, health, and environments. Okay. Oh gosh, I think my mouse frozen for a minute. So I'd love to know which pillar, actually we've done this already. So the season of the life that you're in can determine which pillar that you need to focus on the most. So I know certainly after my marriage ended, it was definitely growing my business and making money. But then when it came to kind of lockdown and my children were a bit older, they were spending, lots of time with their dad during lockdown, suddenly the pillar of relationships became like suddenly my loneliness was pretty heightened. So that's when I thought, right, okay, I need to manifest a partner now. And, or it could be your home environment. I know for a lot of members of my community, it could be like, I'm ready to move house. I'm ready for change. So we're all going to have at different times in our life a different pillar that we're going to be focusing on. And I always talk about, each of those pillars should be your version of a 10 out of 10. Not everyone's going to want a 7-figure income and a Hollywood mansion and and, you know, private jets and Chanel handbags. That's not everyone's idea of a big vision life. Sometimes it's a lot simpler than that. You know, I think what makes for a happy life is a lot simpler. And I'm talking a lot about this a lot more now. There's a lot of coaches who talk about, you know, yes, you go for 7 figures, you know, do this, do that. And but really, it's what makes you happy. And for most people, I was talking to a friend earlier and I said, because I knew I had this webinar coming, I thought, what would bring me joy? I'd love to just go and have a couple of hours off right now, just go and make a cake. Funny, she gave me a recipe for a super simple cake, and I'm actually going to make it tomorrow. But sometimes it's just like, you know, a cup of tea, a slice of cake, sitting, you know, looking at your garden, doing some gardening with no other time pressures on you. That could be your idea of a big vision life. So have a think about, you know, what pillar, you know, what is your idea of a big vision life? Oh, so sorry, I need to go back. So the magic of tapping is that you can feel calm, focused, more energized, and better. That's just often what we want to feel. We just want to feel better in less than 10 minutes. It can make us feel more confident, more powerful. It's an amazing self-love practice. Tapping can help us let go of limiting beliefs. We can use it as a manifestation tool, create more abundance, attract loving relationships, and raise your frequency, which is what we've just done with Laura, and hopefully a lot of you on this call. Now, our frequency affects every area of our lives. It affects our thoughts, which in turn affect our emotions. And if you don't like the way you are feeling or what you're experiencing, change your frequency now. This is how you change your life. So I kind of coined this phrase, I think I did, you know, change your life one tap at a time. You know, I think lots of you know I've got lots of tapping videos on my YouTube channel that cover all sorts of different topics, from self-healing, you know, there's tapping for hay fever, which I shared recently. There's tapping for teenagers and exam stress. You know, as I said, you know, I've been tapping with my children since they were tiny, since they were 2-3 years old. I've been tapping with them. They've grown up with it, and you know, they've got their own toolkit for dealing with emotions, and it's such an amazing resource that you can literally tap on anything. Now, there are common behaviors that can sabotage our success. It's procrastination, it's resistance to change, it's perfectionism, negative self-talk, imposter syndrome, fear of failure, fear of ridicule, fear of uncertainty. And guess what? You can tap on all of those. Oh, sorry, I went backwards instead of forwards. Now, how can you 10x your chances of success? It's to surround yourself with a supportive community. Now, as I said, I did say I've got a great offer for you today, and it is to tell you about the tapping into your Big Vision members community. I've also got a gift for you as well, which I'll be coming to in a moment. But the tapping into your Big Vision community, as I shared earlier, I started this in 2019, and it's the most incredible community of loving, supportive women. A whole group of us actually went on a retreat recently. I'm not going to talk so much about the retreat today, but when we all come together, it's incredible the magic that it's formed. And you saw at the beginning of the call, literally the members of my community come from all parts of the world. Lots of us in the UK, the US, Europe, all over the world. Incredible community. And in the community, one of the things that I think is the most utilized is the tapping library. Now, I am not going to stop making videos for my YouTube channel, but I also make way more tapping videos for my community that will never appear on the YouTube channel because they're a little bit different. They're a little bit, because a lot of these are members' requests, you know, something like tapping to heal female money wounds. Did you know that women have very deep rooted money wounds? This can go back ancestrally. You know, women were actually in the UK could only get credit in their own name in the 1970s. They needed their fathers or their husbands to be their guarantors because women weren't, you know, trusted with money. Maybe your mum had, you know, your dad looked after all the money in the house. That's certainly the case in my house. So a lot of women have deep female money wounds that need healing. So that's not a tapping video. It's going to be on my YouTube channel anytime soon. This is just a little handful of some of the tapping videos that are on my YouTube channel. Sorry, not YouTube. These are in my members portal. They're all available in a handy app, and all the videos from my YouTube video are all there as well. It's a library of nearly 300 videos and masterclasses. And I often ask my members, what do you want me to create a tapping video on? And we have some pretty niche ones. So in the corner here, we've got, it's okay to put myself first, to be unapologetically selfish. This is when you've got family demands and you feel guilty about putting yourself first. You know, it's to let go of that guilt. Tapping to improve memory. That was another member's request. Tapping to let go of post-traumatic stress. That's something I created for myself, actually. So a few years ago, yeah, 2021, I had my parents live with me for 6 months. My dad fell down the stairs and was hospitalized. I had to move my mum in with me, and they lived with me for 6 months while we sold our old family home and I got them moved into their new apartment. But I didn't realize that 6 months they lived with me, it was so incredibly stressful. And I had PTSD for about nearly a year after they left, because and it's only those who've been through post-traumatic stress, but through such prolonged intense stress, will recognize that this is something you need to let go of. So overthinking, catastrophic nighttime thinking, tapping to release negative patterns. This is just 12 of literally hundreds on my in the members portal that are available. And the reason I share these is because sometimes we need specific ones to help us through a particular time in our lives. You know, maybe you're a person who doesn't particularly finish projects. Maybe you start things and don't stop things. So you might need to tap into that finishing a project. You need help to finish a project. Releasing past life vows of poverty. You know, we're going a bit woo here. There are old vows and bonds that we've created in past life. And actually, I've realized I need to create past life chastity, past life vow of silence, because perhaps these are things that are stopping you from speaking up as well. So I'm open to creating tapping videos for the members. So the more woo, the more niche, the better. But these won't be going on my YouTube channel. These are just the members portal. So I want to share a couple of members' stories here. No, I've run a little testimonial contest in the membership recently, and over the weekend, I've just had a chance just to share a few here. Some people who might have been where you were recently and just sharing some of their stories. So I'm just going to share some of these. So Angie has been, you know, member since the beginning. She says that the impact of the community has been seismic. I was going to say that I've been able to reclaim my life, dreams, and personality, but I feel it's actually a case of being able to claim my life, health, well-being, joy, vibrancy, hopes, and dreams, and to shed all of the negativity surrounding me to emerge as my true, authentic self. From a very young age, I faced challenge after challenge with family, health issues, divorce, housing, and being part of an abusive church. But I feel that with the support of the group and the plethora of inspirational content, that I'm batting away the negative effects of these challenges, and I'm able to enjoy my life more and look to a brighter, happier, more fulfilling future. So Angie's also a jazz singer, and at Christmas it was wonderful. She had manifested this incredible experience to sing at this incredible venue in London. So it's been wonderful to hear her sharing her manifestations of her living her dreams. We've got here Christina, who's a member. The community gave me the power to face up to the fact my marriage wasn't working for me. The membership gave me the tools to be able to deal with the fallout of that. Being asked the question, what does your heart truly desire, on our monthly community calls was life-changing for me. Melanie's practices communities will give you the positive tools to change your mindset to make anything possible. And who have we got here? We've got Padma. Before joining the membership, I lived in a constant state of fear, as I'd recently gone through a marriage breakup, constantly worrying about money, felt lonely. I was also in the middle of the pandemic. I now focus on what I want consistently. I feel like I'm returning back to the real me more and more every day. If I'm worried about something, I share in the group. If I'm worried about something, I share in the group and the guidance comes. It's really safe and kind space. I'm happier than I've been in a long time. Know I'm supported and focus on the solutions now, not the problems. Just a complete mindset shift. The connections in there are really wonderful and I'm grateful for them. I've achieved many, many things off my vision board. My children also tap, and ultimately it keeps me making progress to being a better version of myself all the time. I have a lot of peace in my life now. So something else with the members portal and the library in particular is that, I encourage you to share them with your family. Sometimes I get a lot of husbands and partners turn up on the call to, listen in. And, I've had people message me to say, my husband taps along with the videos in your portal, and it's, helps so much with other family members as well. So there really is a ripple effect out. And I've got to share this. Wendy, I think when Wendy was on the call, I really hope you don't mind me sharing this video. So Wendy was on the retreat recently. Now, Wendy has had the most amazing shift. Oh, can you hear this? So that brings me so much joy, that video. And Wendy also shared this, that I've become no, so I just want to give a bit of background to Wendy and give her a huge shout out. I'm actually going to be interviewing her on my show Tapping with Mel later on this week. So you're going to hear her story in full. But when Wendy joined, she was lovely. She was very quiet in the group. We didn't really hear much from her. But as the months have progressed, she's slowly come out of her shell. She's been more visible, more confident. And she shared here, I've become more confident in all aspects of my life. I've also gained a much greater sense of self-belief in myself. I'm now reaching far higher in my professional life than I would have dreamt of capable before. And Wendy's an EFT practitioner. She's actually going to be launching a course to help people with their eyesight. So I'm so happy to be, supporting her with that as well. So I won't read all of this, but Karen shared her story before. In a nutshell, um, she has been with the group since the beginning. She's now kind of one of the coaches in the group. She leads we have productivity calls each week, and Karen leads one of them. So Karen is in Utah. She's in the States. She's a boundaries coach. She's at the sovereignmum.com. Now, Karen, she's very happy for me. She's shared the story publicly many times. She was estranged from her family and her mother and her parents. And on our vision board experience, this probably would have been about 2 or 3 years ago, we did a full moon forgiveness. And Karen decided to put into this forgiveness all the stuff kind of around her parents and her mother. And actually, she requested a tapping video to tap into the support of the Divine Mother. That's another video that's in the membership. So people who don't have a close relationship with their parents or with their mother, is to call onto that maternal support from the universe, from Mother Earth. And the strangest thing happened. She said the following week, I think it's the following week, she says it, I got a check from $100,000 in the mail from my mum. She goes, it was as if by letting go of the negative emotions around this, the universe provided my desires through my mother. Since doing the TNT vision board experience with Melanie, I've experienced so many things on my vision board. But yeah, that $100,000 check out of the blue was just absolutely incredible. So that was Karen's $100,000 manifesting miracle. Eva, she has led an amazing masterclass in our group. Eva shared here, she said, this was a screenshot, and I asked if I could share this. By the way, I never told you this. When I signed up for the Entrepreneur Emotional Toolbox and the Abundance Bundle and then the membership, I was at a point where I was nearly quitting my business. I actually hated the business. And I remember the first time I tapped on, I choose to have a business that I love. It felt like such a lie. And these videos in the community were so powerful to help make changes in the business. I can now say I'm in a loving, healthy relationship with my business again. I attracted a lot of support and nice shifts. So I guess I just want to say thank you. Okay, for some reason. Oh gosh, right, where's the presentation gone? I think there were a few more slides. I don't think I'm at the end yet. Oh, there we go. So I would love to invite you to join the Tapping into Your Big Vision members community. And it's more than I can actually put into words here. So by being a part of the community, you get twice yearly access to the TNT Vision Board experience in January. And this year we're going to be doing it in July. In fact, I can actually tell you now, we're going to be doing it over the weekend of, from the 4th to the 7th of July. And it's not all day, every day. It's a 3-day immersion where we get clear on the vision, we create the vision board, and then we do my TNT vision embodiment process. Now we have twice monthly Zoom calls with me every month, always with hot seats. Now, these aren't shared on YouTube. They are kind of safe within the members community. But we tap at the new moon and at the full moon. At the new moon is when we recommit to our visions, we set our intentions. And at the full moon, we let go, we do our release work stuff. And we do this twice a month. So every month you have an opportunity to let go and recommit to your vision.
This is great.
We also have weekly productivity power hours, and these are hosted by myself. They're also hosted by my fellow coaches in the community, Inga Dexnay, Lisa Nichols, and Karen Keener, who I introduced you to a minute ago. We've also got a new thing that's going to be starting up just next week in the members, and this is a twice monthly tapping surgery with Mel. So members who are on the call, if you've missed my announcement, I'm going to be doing this between our weekly Zoom calls where I'm just going to be going live on Facebook. And this is when you guys, you post in the group, you share whatever's going on, something's happened. And this is going to be my time to address those comments and to offer you my tapping prescriptions or to do some actual tapping with whatever's going on for you. So this is a way that kind of everybody gets their needs seen to, as much as I possibly can. Every month, we also have a monthly guest masterclass. I'll tell you a bit more about the masterclasses in a minute. And the simple truth is that making changes on our own is hard. I find it incredibly hard. Without accountability, I find it so hard. But when, we let go, the reason making changes is hard is because we let our old patterns of behavior, our fears, our doubts, and our excuses stop us from taking action and creating the lives we dream of. We get in our own way, we procrastinate, we let external factors influence us, and then we get lost in the overwhelm. And then over time, sometimes, our dreams they just fade away. So, unlocking your big vision. Now, one of the things that I'm best known for is my work with vision boards and manifesting. And my vision board workshop was even featured in the Daily Mail. Now, the TNT Vision Board experience is the cornerstone of the Tapping into Your Big Vision members community. We do this twice a year in January and July. Before you know that you can manifest, you need to get clear on exactly what you want. And we do this twice a year because, as I said to you before, 10 years ago, my big vision was very small. It was big for me. I just wanted to stay with my children. I wanted to take the kids to school. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mum, and I wanted to start my own business, and I wanted to make enough money to, pay for my children's hobbies. But my life has, been through so many transitions and crossroads. And at each crossroads, I want different, I want better, I want more, I have a bigger vision. So that's why we do it twice a year, because honestly, once a year is not enough to focus on your vision. Twice a year, and sometimes everyone kind of does it in January and just does a little top-up session in July. Or sometimes people, think, do you know what, July is the time, the summertime is when I want to focus on it. So this is when we're going to be doing it next. The reason we're delaying it slightly this month is because and again, I've taken lots of feedback from my community members this month. So members, hold your horses, there is going to be lots of positive changes coming. I want the rest of May and June to be kind of settling in time for you to maybe get rid of old stuff, to do some ancestral healing, to clear some old baggage, because I think it's too soon from joining the membership to suddenly jump into making your vision board. This is going to be a settling in period for the next 6 weeks to get clear on some big goals, to manifest some money, and to really get clear on what you want. That's why we're not doing it till the beginning of July this year. We're still doing it the new moon, though. And the members portal, you get access to my entire library. Is actually 300 plus tapping videos and masterclasses from relationship experts, feng shui experts, health and wellness experts. And you've got videos added monthly, exclusive Facebook group, and we have in-person meetups as well. So we've had meetups at Luton Hoo. We went to the Sky Gardens in London a couple of months ago. We've been to the Fairmont Hotel in Windsor. I always like to choose nice, abundant environments because, this is where we can have really heartfelt conversations and really get to know each other. The next one is going to be in the Cotswolds. We're going to be doing it in the summer. I think it's going to be in August. I wanted to do this last November, but this is a summertime experience. We're going to be going to the RH, which is an American brand, Restoration Hardware. It's this beautiful place called Anyhow Park. And we're going to be, I've got a plan. It's going to be like a members' day out, and we're going to be living our vision boards together. So I'm really excited for this day. So that's going to be our next members meetup. And I'll be announcing the exact dates of that soon. You've got a whole library of members masterclasses. This is just some of the recent ones we've done. We've got, these are all members in our community as well. What I love to do is to showcase members. I lead the group, but I'm by no means the expert. We have some wonderful members in our group. So Jackie Crooks, who's one of the members, Jackie's actually, she co-hosted the retreat with me recently. She is an EFT founding master. She was trained by Gary Craig, and she's one of only 29 EFT masters in the world, and she's one of the members in our community. She did an amazing class on ancestral healing, and I recommend for any of you joining the group, do that class first before you do anything else. Go and watch that class, clear the ancestral crap from your family, you know, recognize what ancestral stuff you've been holding on to and release it. We've got other more kind of health practical things like gut healing, a wonderful class that Sarah Jackson did. We had a lovely cacao ceremony for self-love with Ginny Marsh, who's a well-being coach. Sharon has actually done 2 classes for us. She did a flower essence. She did a class, how we can use flower essences to help us manifest our big vision. And we've got Jenny Ford, who did a wonderful Right to Release masterclass. And I'm always on the lookout for new classes. We've got some new ones coming up soon. Aisling Mooney's my good friend of mine. She's coming to do a writer's masterclass for anybody who wants to publish their own book. We've got a friend of mine, Sarah Aspinall, who's coming to do a bar ballet workout, you know, to show us other ways we can have a lean, fit, toned and healthy body. We've got menopause masterclasses coming up as well, how we can ease to this next chapter of our lives through perimenopause and menopause with grace, with joy, with ease. So, you know, I'm excited for this next chapter, and, you know, and I'm certainly, that's a chapter that I'm going into. Now there are 3 types of students, which, you know, over my years, nearly 15 years of coaching clients, you know, 3 types of students. They're the ones who don't show up. They're the ones who buy courses and programs, and, you know, they might watch 1 or 2 things, and they just don't show up. I don't get to know them. Then there are the half-hearted students, the ones who dabble a bit, don't get the results immediately, then they give up. And then there are the all-in action takers, the ones who take full responsibility for their outcomes and show up. Okay. Now, I want to know which one of these are you. You don't have to answer that out loud, but just taking responsibility. Now, I know in the past, there's been times when I've bought programs not shown up, but I know that I'm a different person than the person I used to be. Now, for all the action takers, I have an invitation, because they're the only people I want to join the group. I want the action takers. I want the people who are going to take full responsibility, and I want people who are going to do the work. I don't want you to come and join and not show up to the Zoom calls, you know. And a lot of the community watch the replay, which is absolutely fine. I alternate them between 8 p.m. UK time and 1 p.m. to try and cover all the time zones, but I post the replay immediately so that people can watch them in their own time. So for 3 times a year, we focus on the 4 pillars. Now, this June, we're going to be getting clear on what we want. May and June, we're going to be getting super clear. We're going to be getting rid of the past. Now, July, we're going to be doing our vision boards together. August focuses abundance and the prosperity party. The prosperity party is my public live challenge. I normally do that in May, but this year I'm doing it in August. And then September is action taking. So that's what's coming up over the next 4 months. But each month we focus on the themes of health, of abundance, of environments, and of relationships. So all 4 of those, you know, we work on them all the time, because they're all super important. As bonuses for joining, you'll get access to the Tapping into Abundance course, which previously, when I first launched this, sold for £397. You get free access to that. You get access to the Entrepreneur's Emotional Toolkit program. That I sell alone at 147. You also get tapping, and I did this a few years ago. I sold this on its own for 197, the tapping summer school. And here you've got classes on mirror tapping, surrogate tapping, supercharged manifesting, and how to create your own tapping scripts. As a member, you can also request tapping scripts, and new videos are added each month. And you also will have an opportunity to be a guest on my show, Tapping with Mel. I've got a few guests lined up, some of the members who are going to be sharing their incredible stories. And you get all of this as an annual membership, because I want you to join for a year, because change does not happen overnight. Change happens with intention, with showing up. And I haven't shared her story here, but I shared Mahesha. I think Mahesha, I don't know if she's still on the call. She was here earlier. She may have had to leave. I don't know. Mahesha, are you still here?
I'm here, Mel.
Oh, hi there. Oh, Mahesha. Mahesha, you are a person who shows up, and you are an action taker. Mahesha, let me just stop sharing for a moment. I want to, I know I interviewed you the other day. Are you okay to chat quickly?
Yeah, sure.
I can't see you. Is your camera on or is your camera off?
It is, yes.
Okay, let me get back to gallery. There we are. Sorry, Mahesha, putting you on the spot like this.
That's fine.
Now, I interviewed you last week, so but for those of you who didn't hear Mahesha's story, go and watch it's the last video I uploaded to YouTube. She was the first guest on Tapping with Mel that I've resurrected this series. But Mahesha, this time last year, you were on the Zoom call, you weren't a member of the community. And I remember you messaging me, you were umming and ahhing, you were deliberating about joining, weren't you?
I was, yes.
What were you doing this time last year?
Oh gosh, a lot changed. I was very lost, to be honest, this time last year. I've been working in for software sales for about 14 years, but even though I enjoyed it for a good few years, I would say 3-4 years, I was quite miserable. I felt like I was just running after the money. It wasn't making me happy at all. And I've been tapping, obviously, following Melanie's YouTube videos for a long time. But that was kind of the time that I think I joined the Prosperity Party. And I felt like this is the time I have to join, because I needed my life to change around and I needed a little bit of support. So I did. And it's been actually a whole year now, because I joined last May, and my life just changed completely. I finally started to see what my purpose was. My path kind of opened itself to me. I've now trained to become myself an EFT practitioner, and I left the corporate world back in June last year. So literally, like, just over a month after I joined the community, I found the strength to kind of follow my dream, and so I left it. And then I started training and doing everything I wanted to start my own practice. So now I'm a Reiki master and EFT tapping practitioner, and never felt happier. So I know we tapped earlier in similar topic, and yeah, join the community. I can't tell you how amazing it is, how much it's changed my life. I think the best bit that happened is really giving me clarity on what I wanted, and that definitely happened in the last year. So,
and I think what has just impressed me so much about you, and so Mahesha also came on the recent retreat that I did in Cornwall, and I said to Mahesha, I said, honestly, you've blown me away. What you've done in 1 year, I think it took me nearly a decade to do, from getting the clarity, from having the courage to leave my job, to, to starting, one-to-one sessions. Now Mahesha's even talking about creating programs as well, I am just, and also niching down as well. Mahesha wants to help people who've been adopted and people who've been through the adoption process. So the clarity that Mahesha's got has just been incredible. And I remember Mahesha messaging me saying, "Oh, I'm not sure about joining." And I just said, "Look, if it feels right, just do it." And this is what I have to say about action takers. I only want you to join if you're going to be like Mahesha. If you show up, and when I say be like Mahesha, it's because she's been vulnerable. It's not been all been plain sailing this past year. Stuff's happened. She shares in the group. The community rushes in, supports her. She gets the clarity. She moves on. She's on to the next thing. And, And you are on nearly all the Zoom calls. You're here tonight. You didn't need to be here tonight, but you're here and you're always learning. So this is what I mean by action takers who take full responsibility. And I truly believe Mahesh has fast tracked, you know, what most people take a decade, and she's done it in a year. So amazing. I can publicly just I'm in awe of you. I really am.
Thank you so much. Well, you're part of that, so thank you very much.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for I didn't even know that you were going to be on the call, so thank you. Because I remember talk about how the universe works. As I was doing my slides and testimonials, I thought, why didn't I put Mahesh's story? And I think it's because I thought I'd make reference to your YouTube video, but there we go. You are here to tell your story yourself. So there we go. No coincidences.
Which one should I use? I'm getting on those.
Oh, somebody just said something. I heard a voice there. So thank you, Mahesha. I'll let you get back to
Thank you.
I'll unpin you now. So I'm very nearly done, and then we'll take a few Q&As. Sorry, we've gone a little bit over time. I do have a habit of doing this, so apologize. So let me just get back to the last final screens and tell you how you can join if you would like to. Sorry. So yes, so the cost of the membership, of the tuition, of all the learnings is £444 a year, or £44 a month for 12 months. And the reason it's 12 months is because this is the time it takes to really get traction, to really explore. You know, I had somebody share in the community, they've been here for a few months, is that they've only kind of looked at about 12% of the content of the group, because there is so much there. It's not a course. It's not something that you have to look through not every tapping video is going to resonate for you. You're not going to need every tapping video, but there will be something there that will help you to shift whatever it is you're going through. And this is when I do the tapping prescriptions. So when I get to know you, I'll say, right, you need to do this, this, and this video. And I'll say, just work with those 3 videos for the next 30 days. And that will be your prescription. So the doors are open until midnight, Friday, the 24th of May. And you can get all the details at melaniemore.co.uk/members. Now, on the 27th of May, we're going to kick off a 90-day accountability session to start not just your summer, but the next best chapter of your life. We're going to start a 90-day implementation plan for all the members. Now, I've got a gift for everybody on the call today. So I hope you'll come and join me. I would love to welcome you into the community, but you know, if this is the right time, and I did promise you, I've got a gift for you. I'm going to give you the 90-day manifestation plan to do. So it's a simple download. And Inga, sorry, I know we've gone on a bit. If you're on the call, there's a Dropbox link where you can get the manifestation plan. I will email this out as well. And it's a 90-day plan where I want you to put down a big goal, something you want to manifest in the next 90 days. What is it? So, right in the present tense. So let me just go back one. The goal is right in the present state. I am my ideal body weight. I am feeling healthy and energized. I am financially free. I'm in possession of, you know, fill in the blank. I'm living in a tidy, organized home. What is your kind of big goal? Maybe 2 or 3 at the most goals for the next 90 days. But remember, where focus goes, energy flows. So the more you can focus on this goal, the better. And then add more detail to your goal statement. Use phrases such as I love, I understand, I love how abundant my new car feels to drive. I'm feeling so loved and cherished by my soulmate. I understand what changes I had to make in order to manifest this goal. So you put that under the what section. Now, why? This is super important aspect of the manifestation process. Why do you want what you want? Dig deep into the heart of your why. Your why should touch your heart and soul. If your why doesn't move you, you haven't dug deep enough yet. So my why 15 years ago was super clear. I want to start my own home therapy business so that I can watch my children grow up, so that I can be there for them every step of the way. So that was my why then. And then action. In action, how are you going to take action over the next 90 days? Make a schedule, stick to it. Take daily action steps towards your goal, and find daily tapping videos, you know, from my YouTube channel to support you. if you don't have access to the members portal, you know, do some daily tapping to support your goals and eliminate your distractions. Can't stress how important that is. For 90 days, you might want to get rid of Netflix, if that's possible. You might want to get rid of Facebook off your phone. For 90 days, eliminate distractions, and you'll be amazed at how there's, you know, on an iPhone, there's a button where you can click the focus button. Just click that every day. Be super focused towards your goal. So it sounds easy. Now, sometimes we sabotage these good intentions. So just be mindful of this. Commit to your goal by connecting daily with your why. Commit to your daily action steps. Use the tapping to stop your self-sabotaging behaviors, habits, and to stop the negative self-talk. So to summarize on your action plan, which I'll email to you, or there's a link there, get clear on your goal for the next 90 days. Write out your goal statement in the present tense. Write out your why and connect with this daily. Write out your action plan. Schedule your daily action steps and use tapping to help you stay committed and consistent. So as part of the support in the members community, we have productivity power hours to help you get it done. This is every Monday at 2 p.m. UK time. So this is a power hour you can connect and join in and do some focus work together. So I hope you enjoy your gift. And I hope this is kind of like just given you the inspiration and the motivation to kickstart this next chapter of your life. Remember, it starts tomorrow. So enjoy your gift. And if this isn't the time to join, I wish you all the best. All I ask you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I promise to keep making you free content. If you love a video and it helps you, please share it out. You know, I've recently hit a milestone of 1 million people on my YouTube channel. And I feel for me personally, this is just scratching the surface of the people who I want to help in this world. So just a quick reminder, to join the community, it's melaniemore.co.uk/members. You should find the link in Zoom and you'll be getting emailed out to you. And I would love to welcome you into the community because honestly, my members are like my family. You've helped me and supported me the times when I've needed you, when I was going through the stuff with my parents. And we are there literally to support one another. So I hope to get to know you and to welcome you into the group. So that's the end of the official presentation. I'm happy to stay on for a few minutes. If anyone's got any questions about joining the membership, or if anyone's got any questions, I'll stay on for a few more minutes because I did promise a Q&A session at the end. So let me stop the share. And there we go. Oh, thank you, Inga, for posting those comments. So yeah, has anybody got any questions right now? I've done a lot of talking. Let me see all your lovely faces. Yeah, has anybody got any questions about joining the membership, about the tapping, anything at all? Because I'm literally staying on for Q&A now. If there's no questions, then I shall let you all go. But if you've got any questions, Sarah, is that your hand raised?
Yes, that's right.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello there. Thank you so much for this evening. It's been absolutely fantastic. I would like to join the membership, but I know that I'm going to be away on the 27th. Is that going to be a huge problem? No,
so the 27th, that's when I do the kickoff thing. Now, I do a lot of stuff in the members Facebook group. I just find it's just been, I've talked with other platforms and things, and I know some people love Facebook and are happy to do it, but everything is also recorded and put in the members portal. Now, what a lot of members love is everything is in an app on the phone. So it's an app called Kajabi. Every single tapping video, masterclass is all on the app. So when I do masterclasses, they are posted into the group and all the replays are available afterwards. So 27th is just a kickoff call. So I've just popped the date in your diary. A lot of people can't do the vision board experience. A lot of people can't attend the Zoom calls. You know, we've all got lives to lead, but just make a note to yourself that, you know, I'm going to commit to watching the replay. Yeah. So that's all I ask. So
wonderful.
And Maheisha, so I know Maheisha's golden student for tonight. Maheisha doesn't come to every single call, do you, Maheisha? but she does watch the replays, and I'm sure there's times she misses them. But I always, trust that the universe will guide you to what needs to be seen.
Well, it's definitely guided me to you today, because I've had the most awful afternoon. So, and I very nearly didn't turn up today because I thought, oh my goodness, I'm really not in the right headspace. But it's been absolutely amazing. It's been fantastic.
Well, I can't wait to get to know you, Sarah, and delighted you're going to be joining.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Has anybody else got any questions? Right, so the question here is not public. Can transformational change be done just from doing the YouTube videos daily? Yes. Now, here's the thing about YouTube and free stuff. It's amazing the amount of wonderful free stuff that's out there. Books, resources, Tony Robbins, has anyone done his UPW, Unleash the Power Within? That is a fabulous, I think it's 4-day event. I went to it in 2017, and I think I paid for the VIP ticket. It cost me £2,000 to go to a 4-day event. And I loved it. You can watch all of UPW for free on YouTube, and you'll probably get as good results. But what was different about being there was being the energy, the collective of people, being with the room. And that for me is always kind of what I need when it comes to making changes, because, as I said earlier, making changes on your own can be hard, but some people who have the will and have the willpower, they can do it. It's just like, it's a difference between doing an exercise video on YouTube or joining a gym and having a personal trainer. It's night and day. But if you're committed, you will get the results. But I work with a personal trainer because there are some fitness and some goals that motivate me. I know when I go to the gym on my own, I work about a quarter as hard as when I'm working with my personal trainer. It's different. When I go to the gym on my own, I'm not really sore the next day. When I go to the gym and I'm with my personal trainer, I can't walk for 2 days. That's the difference between doing things on your own and joining a community. So, but absolutely, and it's all down to the individual. Some people are self-motivated and can do it. Others need community. So, that's how I answer the question of that. When will I be announcing new early bird rates to the Abundance Retreat next year? Well, I've already announced it to the members community. The members have got the super early bird rates. The members also have got another bonus, which you have to join to find out. So I'm giving the members the first opportunity, and because I'm making some changes to the retreat next year, so the sales page needs updating. If you do want to join, do send me a DM, and then we can have a conversation, because the sales page isn't ready yet. That's why I've not announced it publicly. But if you're on this call, you want to find out about next year's retreat, send me a DM and we can have a conversation. Okay. Catherine said, I've just joined, paying monthly. Now what do I do? I'm so excited about this. I need it. So you should hopefully welcome, Catherine. I can't wait to get to know you. Catherine, unmute yourself. Where in the world are you from?
I'm right here.
Where do you live, Catherine?
I'm in Delhi, New York, not Delhi.
Delhi.
You're like, oh, Delhi, and I'm going, no, baby, no. It's Delhi. It's Delhi. I'm so happy to be here. You've no idea. I was diagnosed with cancer, and I've been taking care of myself now for a year and fighting with doctors because I don't like what they have to say, and just doing. And I'm a writer. I'm giving people information. Everybody's calling me now about what to do if they want alternatives. Anyway, I have been following you on YouTube for a while, and I've done a lot of tapping. You're my favorite tapping person. I just downloaded this.
You are an action taker. I am
an action taker. Well, I want to live. Plus, I'm 70 years old and I have no retirement whatsoever. And I'm like, and none of this is like alien to me, because I'm a high priestess of the goddess, and I'm just very excited to be here, and I'm very excited to be here. What do I do now other than fill this out tomorrow morning, which is the first day of the rest of my life?
Well, Catherine, can I just say, I love your energy and you are more than welcome. I can see people smiling at your presence and you're going to be a wonderful asset to community. I can't wait to hear about the healing and your cancer journey. It's just amazing. And I can't tell you, there are people in the group right now who need it. So Catherine, I think you've been sent from the divine to our group.
To me from the divine. I was like, and because I found you late one night, I'm like, I'm losing my mind. Go to YouTube.
So what do you do next? I would tell you what, check your emails. You will get the members portal. You'll get a link to join the Facebook group. We will welcome you to the community. You'll find out how to download the app and just start to introduce yourself, and you'll be signposted along the way. But already, I can't wait to get to know you, Catherine.
I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you. I'm getting a new passport so I can come over at least next year.
Yes.
I mean, I'm dying to get back to England.
Can I just say something very quickly? So I see a regular homeopath and naturopath, and she shared something with me. I think the last time I saw her, she said, because I'm 48. And she said to me, Mel, women in their 40s are really powerful. She goes, but it's nothing like when a woman hits her 50s, her 60s, and even her 70s. She goes, when a woman hits her 70s, she is beyond powerful. This power, and I want to end on this. I want to end on this kind of like download that I just had received. I had this earlier today that we are not menopausal, we are not empty nesters, we're not divorcees, we are not ADHDers, we are not these identities that society has put upon us because of our age or because of our marital status. We are none of those. We are powerful women, and I know there's some men here who've lived through a lot of experiences, and we've lived through those experiences because we're here to teach others, because we're here to light the way for others, because we're here to show others what's possible. We're just stepping into our prime, we're stepping into our vision, we're stepping into our purpose, and we're stepping into the identity of who we really are. And I believe, and I'm excited to learn from you, Catherine, and I think, even in their 80s, I love it when I see women in their 80s and 90s skydiving and doing incredible things. They're the people who inspire me. So think about the identity society's put upon you. It's not you. It's not you.
No, not at all.
Oh. So and I've got another comment here, which it's private to me, so I will address it in case some people are feeling, I'd love to join the community, but unfortunately it's not financially viable for me currently. Hopefully I'll find some answers on what I need to do. Be able to join later in the year, and thanks for the session. My pleasure. Now, there have been times when I've wanted to do things and I haven't been able to, and it reminds me of a time in 2017 where there was a mastermind coaching group that I wanted to join. It was in America, it's in Los Angeles. I had been separated for just over a year. I was a single parent. I was making my way in the world. I had very little income and I wanted to join this coaching program. So I joined it. I found the resources. I made it happen. But then another part of it was to go to the meetup in LA. They had a big seminar thing. And I thought, how can I leave the kids? How can I justify going to Los Angeles for 5 days on this trip? How can I afford it? But the desire was so strong. The desire was so strong. It was, and I remember it's about August, I found out this, and up until about mid-December, it was my daily kind of thing. How can I make this happen? What can I do to make this happen? How can I make the money? And I'll tell you, I manifested it. Not only did I go to LA, I ended up flying first class. I got an upgrade on the plane. This was how the universe kind of supported me every step of the way. When you have the desire, the means will become available to you. And that's why, I've done the monthly payments. And, I'm really one for, I feel that I've made this as affordable as possible because, and of course I put a lot of free content out there in the world. I would tap with my abundance tapping videos. I would focus on what do I need to do to make an extra £44 a month? What do I need to do to make an extra, let me get my calculator out. divided by, what do I need to do to make an extra £1.46 per day to make this happen? You know, and it could be that there's might be cutting back on another subscription somewhere else, or, you know, just making, you know, maybe, and here's the thing, and this is a short-term thing, because I don't like people cutting back on any area of their life. I don't want to say to you, cut out your daily Starbucks. I don't want you to do that. I want you to have your daily Starbucks, and I want you to join the community. So find yourself, ask yourself, how can I find an extra £44 a month? And if you make that your focus for 30 days and you want this enough, I guarantee you'll make it happen. That's how you make it happen. So that's how I answer the how can I afford this question. But also ask yourself, you know, if you know, I'm going to put this to Mahesha again, if she hadn't have joined a year ago, you know, I don't know, what would you be doing now, Mahesha? I'm not asking you that, you know, you don't have to answer that out loud, but, you know, it's just something to think about. You know, can you afford to stay stuck where you are for another year? Can you live in that pain for another year? Can you really feel that it's not worth this investment? So that's another way to look at it. But I don't want anyone to get into any debt over this. I certainly don't want you to, you know, get any loans or anything. I want you to empower yourself to make the money to make this happen. And I don't want you to make just £44 a month. I want you to make £444 a month. I want you to make £4,000 a month. That's what I want for each and every one of you. £44 is just a scratch off the iceberg. It's not even the tip. I want you to manifest all of that and more. So any other final questions? Anything at all? Anyone else? So
I just want to say thank you so much, Melanie. This was really, really, really helpful.
My pleasure, Laura, and thank you for volunteering to be in the hot seat. It was lovely tapping with you. So I'm going to be here again next Monday. It's going to be a similar call. It is opening the doors to the members community, but it's going to be another hot seat tapping, another group coaching tapping. It'll be a bit different. So if you want to come and join again, if you want to kind of work on manifesting for a week, can I make this happen? You know, maybe this time next week, you'll be like, do you know what, Mel? This amazing thing has happened in the last 7 days. Come and share with me what's happened in the last 7 days. So give yourself 7 days to make it happen. So I thank you so much, those of you who've stayed on. Thank you for joining me. And I'm so excited for your next chapter. Remember, life happens, things happen. And when you maintain your frequency, it will help you just to get on with today. Sometimes it's just today you need to get through. Who was it that shared earlier? Sarah, you said it was an awful afternoon. Sometimes we have those dreadful days. And it's just what you need to do to get your frequency back up. Yeah, and sometimes, so just go and tap, go find the videos that resonate. If you're coming to join the community, I can't wait to meet you, can't wait to introduce you to everyone else. And yeah, that's it from me for tonight, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Good night if it's bedtime. Enjoy the rest of your day or wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.